I'm here with owner of Morcraft Homes, Steve Morcom. This is a sloping site, a single level home that's going to be built on this site. Steve's just going to explain how the waterproofing and other issues on this site, how they're dealt with.
Hi Andrew. Over here you can see we've got some retaining walls. And the reason why we've done that, we've got a garage that's going to be lower than the house due to the fall on the block of land. So with the concrete filled steel retaining walls, on the back of them you'll notice that we've got two things. One on the inside, we've got a waterproofing which is called blackjack, which seals the blockwork and prevents any penetration of water through the actual blocks themselves. Then before we actually backfill against them, we run a core flute board, and the whole idea of that is to make sure that when we have rocks going in against the wall as it's being filled, that it doesn't penetrate the waterproofing and keeps it all protected.
Do most other builders do this, Steve?
Look, some builders do, some builders won't use the core flute protection. It's just a matter of doing it right to make sure you get no problems long term in the actual house itself.
Okay, well, tell us how the foundations work on this site.
Foundations are fairly typical to every Morcraft home. We bench the site and make it level. We dig out where the actual footing trenches are going. And as you can see here, we've got a whole heap of starter bars, which are the steel that poke out of the concrete footing. There's steel in the footing itself. It's filled with concrete, and that travels into the ground by about 300 millimetres. And the reason why we choose to do that is that it provides a really good foundation for the house. We pour our concrete slab over the top. The slab and the footings are then tied together with the steel, and that makes it extremely rigid. But the other benefit to it is, when you've got a sloping block and you've got water issues around a house like this, is that if any water lays around the house during the life of the home, it doesn't actually penetrate under the house itself and cause any uplift and movement within the slab. And it's all about sort of planning, not just the actual cost of the home and the way you're going to build, but making sure for the homeowner long term that they don't have any structural issues to deal with.
And the type of slab that you're going to use here, Steve, what type of slab is it?
It's commonly known as a raft slab. It's fully engineered. It's designed to suit the actual footings, suit the actual soil type, and suit the slope of the block of the land, to make sure that there's no movement within the house.
What about the water issues if there was a different type of slab, say for example like a waffle pod?
Waffle pods and monolithic slabs, typically you'd bench the slab or the site no differently, and then you actually just pour the slab right on top of the actual bench itself. So the issue with water laying up against typical sort of pod, slabs of that nature, is that it can seep underneath the slab, and over time with a reactive soil like this one, the reactive soil will actually rise under the slab, and it can cause minor and sometimes major cracking and structural issues.
And the type of slabs that you use, how are they better on a site like this?
Well, the types of slabs we use on all of our sites, in our opinion, are better in terms of, as I said before, we have a concrete footing. It's that deep, full of steel and concrete, and any water that lays around the house can't get under the concrete slab because that concrete footing is in the way and helps maintain a nice moisture content under the slab and keeps it stable for the life of the house. And
you use a lot more downpipe. You seem to have a lot of downpipes on the designs and stormwater gullies. How do they help with that as well?
Well, everything's about, on a sloping site particularly, and even on reactive soil, it's all about site drainage and house drainage, making sure that when we get the torrential storms that we don't have water pouring out of gutters, pouring all over the site and creating problems for the homeowner. It's a matter about getting the water out to the water tank and getting it to the street as fast as possible, and just preventing any homeowner maintenance issues over time.
And what sort of house is going to go on this once you have the slab down?
This one, we've got a custom design home on it to suit the actual slope of the land, hence why we've dropped the garage down, and then we've got a single level house that'll sit on top here and take advantage of the views and the breezes.
Roughly how many square metres is the house, Steve?
I think from memory the house is about 230, 240 square metres.
Okay, well thanks Steve. We'll come back and do some construction videos once the roof's on, and we'll do another one at the end of the job. And so this one here actually gives a good idea of what's gone in. Quite a lot of work's gone into the site here because this is quite a steep site, and there's been some complex issues that Morcraft Homes have sorted through, and we'll see how the finished result is. Thanks very much, Steve.
Thank you.